Okay, we're ready to get started. My name is Ed DeLisi with Accelatis. Today we're going to discuss top Oracle Hyperion performance at Stanley Black and Decker. And we will begin by having an introduction, and then we'll discuss the Oracle Hyperion APM challenge and how Accelatis addresses this challenge. Then I'll turn it over to Guna Appalaraju, where he will discuss why they needed Accelatis, what they have accomplished in the last few years, and where they're going with Accelatis. So I'll begin with a brief introduction. My name is Ed DeLisi. Been in the Oracle Hyperion world for about 15 years now. Worked for Hyperion directly. Then I was with Upstream Software, which is where FDM comes from, where I ran North American sales. And then I was with a Hyperion consulting firm for about 5 years and have now been with Accelatis for coming up on 3 years. The Hyperion Application Performance Management Challenge is most Hyperion users do not have enough insight and control into Oracle Hyperion to both efficiently and consistently manage their systems to deliver the performance they need to keep the end users productive and happy. And what can go wrong, as you know, there's a lot of moving parts that are part of Hyperion, especially when you have multiple products and you have multiple environments. And some of these parts are going to be very technical in nature. They're going to be IT-centric. Others are going to be more business-oriented or application-focused. So you need everyone to collaborate together, understand what all these parts are, what they mean, and how to react to them, and what your options are. And as part of that process, you have multiple teams that have to work together between the application administrators, multiple groups within IT, the product support folks, the management teams, the end users, and then of course if you have outsourced IT for hosting or managed services, those types of things, everyone needs to work together to keep Hyperion running the way it should. So the conclusion is your job's not easy and the business depends on you if you're responsible for keeping Oracle Hyperion users happy. So who is Accelatis? We are a software company founded by Jonathan Berry back in 2008. Jonathan used to run the HFM development team both at Hyperion and Oracle, and he saw many times over the years where customers had challenges related to their Oracle Hyperion performance, and he knew that there was a systematic way to address this, and he spun off Accelatis after leaving Oracle in 2008. All of our developers or technologists, the support team, the account managers, all have very deep Hyperion backgrounds, so we're very uniquely qualified to do what we do. And that has resulted in a large customer base with 100% retention. And what's common between all of our clients is that they all consider Hyperion to be mission critical, and they have to have the best tools available to help manage the performance. The way we address the Application Performance Management Challenge is multifaceted, right? The way we do this is by empowering both the business users and IT with a broad approach and a deep look into the underlying systems. So many times when people think of Accelatis, they'll say, oh, well, that's the monitoring solution for Hyperion. And that's correct, but that's about 20% of the overall solution. Just to give you a quick little peek into how this works as far as monitoring goes, we help you to see across your entire environment, both to give you the insight to manage and establish service level agreements, give you proactive management, to track both hard and soft failures to give you predictive alerting, and then you have flexible notification and resolution processes. We bring all of the Hyperion logs and user activity into one place. So what this does is give you all of the cause and effect so you can understand, do better root cause analysis across your entire system. The second thing we help with is resolution. To aid in the resolution process, we have automation functionality, where we can automate both IT and finance or operational functions. This will provide you with hands-off resolution and very efficient approach to resolving challenges. The third thing we do is simulate your user experience. What this means is you have continuous proactive management with out-of-the-box Hyperion scripts that allow for both ad hoc user simulations as well as health checks so you can continuously monitor the performance of your system and address things before the end users are actually impacted. This will give you details into the user activity, such as your smart view refresh frequency by user, and the response time by user. And it'll also help you to understand the details of your transactions so you can identify within a given transaction where the bottlenecks might occur. Accelatis also provides optimization functionality to help you eliminate bottlenecks both in HFM rules as well as for S-based calcs. What this means is you can very quickly identify by running your files through a process where bottlenecks exist, so then you can put your expertise to work or your consulting partners' expertise to work. You can help to speed up your close process as well as speed up your S-based calc process and have more consistency and understanding in why your rules and calcs do what they do and how you can optimize them to get the best performance out of them. Now, all this functionality works together to help you significantly streamline your support process. This gives you a faster mean time to recovery, helps you with root cause analysis, and also helps you to have a lower total cost of ownership and total cost of support. We also help you with to manage all the moving parts in your environment. So what this means is you can actually see your entire system in one place for a single environment. You can make tuning setting changes and propagate them across your servers within a single environment. We also help you to capture all the changes, which provides you complete version history of all your configuration settings, which is going to keep you from spending a lot of time and energy and money on wild goose chases. We also help you to audit and track all of your changes, so you can identify what changed over time and compare any 2 points in time for elements like metadata, S-based outlines, security reports, forms, rules. So this particularly is helpful for SOX compliance when it comes to change audit tracking. So all of these pieces work together to give you a broad approach to application performance management. And now we're going to talk about how this was put to use specifically at Stanley Black and Decker. So to give you a little brief history of Stanley Black and Decker, they were founded in 1843. Their headquarters is in New Britain, Connecticut. They manufacture power and hand tools, mechanical access solutions, as well as electronic security and monitoring systems for various industrial applications. They are an $11 billion company. Guna Appalaraju, he has been with Stanley Black and Decker since 2001, and he's held various high-impact roles during this time. He has been the manager of corporate solutions. He's currently the manager of enterprise solutions. He is the program lead for their finance transformation, and he has been on the Oracle Hyperion Customer Advisory Board for the past 5 years. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Guna so he can describe what he's been doing with Accelatis over the past few years and where he's going with it.
Okay, so why did Stanley Black and Decker needed Accelatis Ascension Suite? Here's what was the drivers why we wanted to look for this type of a tool. Stanley Black and Decker has grown over the years through 80 plus acquisitions of various sizes globally, as well as there was significant organic growth that caused a significant increase in reliance on HFM for supporting multiple financial functions and capabilities, such as not only statutory legal reporting, but also significantly large volumes of reports and activities to support financial planning, budgeting and forecasting, management reporting, FX and price, volume, currency impact analysis, mergers, acquisitions and divestiture impact assessment on P&L and balance sheet analysis, and so forth. So there are a lot of activities that cause the user volume to grow from about 300, 400 users to about 1,300, 1,350 plus users globally. So given the increased use of the system in terms of the activities and the users, the system experienced some significant issues in terms of able to meet the needs of the business. But at the same time, we had significant resource constraints in terms of not having to be able to hire new staff to analyze the root cause of the issues and do the monitoring and support activities. So given the resource constraint on one end and the increased demand on the systems on the other end, we had to come up with creatively looking for alternative solutions, and that's why we considered Accelatis, which is one of the leading players to support monitoring and proactive optimization and tuning opportunities, whatever we can leverage using this type of a tool. So that was the driver for us to consider the tool. And what did we accomplish over the last couple of years? We installed Accelatis in our various environments, starting from development, test environment, QA environment, production environment, all the 4 environments. And we started turning on Accelatis agents for all of the major modules related to our EPM HFM suite of applications, starting with shared services, Active Directory integration, workspace, HFM, of course, a lot more significantly deep in terms of all the tiers, web tier, app tier, database tier, as well as FDM and SmartView specifically, as about 1,400 users of ours were very, very significant users of SmartView. So using this Accelatis, we were able to measure how the system is being used based on objective quantitative data-based approach. How many, for example, how many intercompany reports are the users running? We found during the close cycle, during the 3-day close, we are running like 3,000 intercompany reports, over 3,000. Then what about the SmartView reports? We found that people are running very, very large SmartView data pools. In fact, one of the extreme example I could remember is somebody running like a 70 meg file with about 80 different tabs in the Excel worksheet. Enormous, ginormous use of SmartView, pulling a lot of data for doing the plant level P&L and financial analysis. So these tools enabled us to really understand how the system is being used, where the bottlenecks are. That helped us to drive what kind of business process changes we need to do to simplify our usage. Why are users running so many intercompany reports? What can we do to retrain them to make sure they're doing the right thing? Why are the users running so much of SmartView? So that we can give them appropriate direction in terms of using the classic SmartView versus the ad hoc SmartView. So there are numerous type of process changes that helped to be identified using these type of tools. And when we presented the data to convince the business how the system is being used or where it's being abused, where the concurrent activities are going on, I think this type of objective database approach helped us to convince our steering committee to put their business resources to drive appropriate process changes. Now, where are we going with Accelatis? So, having gained confidence in Accelatis, we have, of course, significantly used this to support our complete migration from 11.1.13 to 11.1.2.2. We just went live on 100 plus servers for our upgraded EPM suite, which includes, of course, not more than HFM, but planning, budgeting, Hyperion planning, SBase, DRM, OBIE, and all those other modules. And also what we are thinking about leveraging Accelatis even more is to expand capabilities to support our SOX operations, to make sure we are able to provide adequate proof of change controls and procedures to convince the SOX audits, as well as we want to use Accelatis increasingly to drive user behavior and user process change in using SBase appropriately. So these are some of the things we are thinking about of expanding the usage of Accelatis go forward. I hope this gives a good perspective of how Accelatis is being managed in our environment. Thank you.
Okay, Guna, thank you very much. And now that you've seen an overview of what Accelatis can do, and you've heard from Guna at Stanley Black and Decker, What can you do now? So you have some options. You can get a replay of this webinar if you'd like. You could submit questions either to Guna or to Accelatis if you'd like to know more. You can get a demo of the entire solution if you'd like. You can request a free copy of the Accelatis Infrastructure Application Review Tool. You can get an assessment from some of our experts. You can go check out our YouTube channel where there's a bunch of product videos as well as other webinars. Or you can connect with us at Open World, which is coming up just this upcoming weekend. So my email is there, edelisi@accelatis.com. And thanks for joining us today, and we look forward to talking to you soon.